Yo, what's up YouTube? It's me, Snadder. I stream on Twitch Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. CET, and today is Saturday, and Saturdays are days which I make content for YouTube. And my YouTube content is basically just me rambling. It's video game related, and entertainment related, where I just have discussion based videos or just share my opinions. I have a lot of thoughts about gaming in general, and YouTube is the perfect platform to share these things. So every Saturday I do these types of videos, and today's video is gonna be I'm gonna be talking about my top 15 most anticipated games of 2020 and beyond. I would technically just do 2020, but there's like 2 games on this list when I talk about anticipated games that I just can't. I have to talk about them, right? So it's gonna be 2020 and beyond in that case, and I'm not gonna go over. I'm just gonna sort of. I mean, I have a tendency to sort of ramble on, but I'm gonna try to keep these sort of rapid fire. I'm gonna fail miserably, but hey, we're gonna try, right? So I'm just gonna go into it here. So, top 15 games that I'm really looking forward to 2020 and beyond, and some of these can go up one place, down one place. It really depends, because some of these are releasing later, and the more info we get about these games, hey, I might be really excited for one game that is lower on the list and whatever, you know. So at the moment, this is sort of what I figured is gonna be the list. Anyway, I'm gonna start. My number 15 is gonna be Resident Evil 3 Remake. Here's the thing, right? I haven't played a single Resident Evil game before in my entire life, but the reason it's on my list, well, it's 15 games. It's kind of hard to come up with 15 games, but it's not only that. I've only heard good things about Resident Evil 2 Remake. So that's a game that I'm really looking forward to play. And that's the thing also with 2020. 2020 and just March alone, it's just packed with games. It's like if you play a lot of games like I do, like if you play a lot of variety, being a gamer in March, it's gonna be hard. So getting to my backlog is my point. Like getting to Resident Evil 2 Remake has been just it's hard. But that is my plan though. Before it's in April, so it's not. I might even have the time. But at some point, I'm gonna play both Resident Evil 2 and go into Resident Evil 3 Remake. And I've heard people have been pestering me about playing this game because they say it's so good, the 2 Remake. So I can't wait to play that one and go into 3, which is probably going to be just as good. Let's keep it going. Number 14, and the reason this is because this would probably be higher, but I'm gonna put it at 14 because it's a remake. It's gonna be Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Xenoblade Chronicles is for the Wii. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's so good. I was kind of let down by Xenoblade 2. And also Xenoblade X is a game we don't talk about. I know people love those games, but I mean, I was personally let down by those games. But Xenoblade 1 for the Wii is one of my favorite games of all time. It has such an amazing story, and I really enjoy the gameplay and the gameplay loop in that game for sure. And I like the characters. And that's this game would probably be a lot higher, but I'm gonna keep it here because it's a game I already played. It's a game that it's just being remade, right? So I'm gonna keep it here. But I mean, hey, if you've heard good things, like also Shulk, it's Shulk. If you play Smash Brothers, that's where Shulk is from. If you've ever been like interested or been thinking about playing this game, wait until the Definitive Edition comes out and play that one. Because you need to play that game. If you're even remotely interested in RPGs and JRPGs, it's one of the best games you're gonna play, like for sure. Especially if you like JRPGs and story-rich games. Let's continue. Number 13 is also in this weird space where it's a game I've already played that is sort of being remade, but it's not just like Xenoblade where it's being just graphically enhanced. This game also has changes to the actual game, like a lot of changes. It's Persona 5 the Royal. Persona 5, when I got my PlayStation 4 Pro like 2 years ago now, I got that machine just for Bloodborne. and I didn't really know much about Persona 5 or any of the other exclusives, but I got it for Bloodborne, but ended up loving like almost every other exclusive more than Bloodborne. And Persona 5 is probably my, yeah, it's close, one of my favorite games for the PlayStation. Yakuza 0 probably being my all-time favorite game for the PlayStation, but it's close. And I've been meaning to get back into that game. Like I've been looking for sort of an excuse to get back into Persona 5, and Persona 5 The Royal is the perfect excuse. And also I'm trying to keep away from spoilers. So I haven't watched too many trailers because I really like to go in blind as possible in these games. So that's why most of these games on my list here is gonna be, I don't have too much to say about them. I can talk about like my personal experiences and stuff and why I'm excited for these games and why they're on my list, but I'm not gonna know too much about them in general because I want to go in blind. That's the most fun part, and I'm also gonna stream almost every single of these games as well. So knowing a lot about them before I go into them would be not only boring to me, but would probably be boring to my viewers as well. Anyway, so that's it. I'm really excited. It's a perfect excuse to get back into it. Persona 5 is really good, and hey, I can't wait. Number 12, Ghost of Tsushima. It's another PlayStation exclusive game. I watched the reveal trailer, which was either last E3 or the E3 before that. It looks really interesting. I saw people making comparisons to sort of a Witcher 3 set in Japan, like Samurai The Witcher 3. I don't know if I would quite go that far, but I can see what people meant when they said that. I know that game also. It's also recently, just a couple days ago, I think like 2 or 3 days ago, it got a story trailer and got the release date in June 26th. Was that it? I may be wrong. But it recently got like a story trailer. I'm gonna stay away from that trailer though. But the game looks really interesting. There hasn't been a single PlayStation exclusive that has let me down. Like all of them are good. I haven't played the only one I haven't played is Days Gone, because that one got sort of mixed reviews. But I have a friend who's played that game and they say it's good. So there hasn't been a single PlayStation exclusive that's let me down, and this one looks to be one of the good ones. So I can't wait to see what this really is. Is it an action adventure game? Is it more of a Souls-like? Do they take elements or inspiration for the Souls games? Is it an RPG? Does it have RPG elements? Like these questions is what gonna make or not break the game for me. But Ghost of Tsushima, if the game turns out to have some really solid, interesting mechanical gameplay features that I personally really like in these games, oh, it can potentially be super solid and sick looking. Anyway, let's continue. Number 11, Ori and the Will of Wisp. I don't have too much to say about this game, except if you tune into my stream this week, I'm actually playing. Well, my last video on YouTube is part 1 of it. I'm streaming Ori and the Blind Forest right now on Twitch blind. The reason this game is on my list is because Hollow Knight is one of my favorite games of all time. And I tuned in a couple of days ago here to Maximilian Dude, which is a fighting game streamer, one of my favorite streamers. And he said some interesting, because he played the game and he's played demos of this game. And here's what he had to say about this game. So it's a Metroidvania. Hollow Knight, one of my favorite games, and without question, my favorite Metroidvania. It has so many interesting aspects that just sets it. It's so unique. Here's what he had to say about Will of the Wisps. It takes a lot of inspiration from Hollow Knight. Certain quests, there's going to be NPCs scattered around the map. The map is really big. The layout is going to be very centered around this Hollow Knight structure of going around. And he also said something interesting about the NPCs. And the NPCs in Hollow Knight are super interesting. Like, really they remind me a lot of the Souls-like sort of structuring to storytelling, with really a really sort of unique way to have your characters react with the world, and sort of, it's all, I don't know, it's really unique. And he said that Ori and the Will-O-Wisp is gonna have a lot of that. Like, you can go to an NPC that you're gonna find behind a cave, behind a waterfall, behind a rock, under the earth, something like that, and he's gonna tell you to like go back to one of the first areas, and then there's gonna be a rare boss there, and you're gonna take the horn, and you're gonna go back to the NPC and get a reward, and it's completely optional, which sounds amazing. These are the kinds of things, like Metroidvanias, I feel like need these sort of elements, and that's what make them fun in my opinion. The you know, in a lot of like adventure games and RPGs, where when you're finished with an area, there's usually not any point to going back, because you're either out leveled it, or there's nothing, there's no new content. But in Metroidvanias, they always manage to somehow keep the world fresh. And when areas that you were in from the beginning, that's what I think Hollow Knight does super well, is that they change the world, and the world levels with you. Sort of, it not levels, but it changes with you, which is really really cool. That was a weird ramble about, but anyway, really excited about Ori and the Will-O-Wisp. Playing Ori and the Blind Forest on stream right now. The game comes out on Wednesday. Today's Saturday, so I have Monday and Tuesday. I played for like 4 hours, I think, on Friday. So I have Monday and Tuesday to finish that game before Wednesday. I'm going to play Will-O-Wisp. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. Number 10. I said I was going to do this rapid fire, but as I always said, as I also said, I'm going to fail miserably. Anyway, number 10. Doom Eternal. Doom 2016, amazing game. Amazing action. Amazing music, amazing level design, the perfect reboot to an old franchise. It's what can I say? If you play that game, you know what I mean. It's absolutely fantastic. Doom Eternal. That's one of the trailers I actually watched, because I watched it on somebody else's stream who watched the trailer on stream. So then I just watched it, and holy shit, what a trailer! I can't remember which trailer it is, but it's one of the recent one, I think. And wow, they have like platforming elements. There's a lot of like unique mechanics. I think there was a dodge mechanic, and it looks real. There was some really cool boss fights and mechanics. Like they took like the Doom 2016 reboot formula and just put it on steroids. And I'm really excited. I don't really have much more to say. It's just gonna be a hell of a lot of fun to play that game, and it comes out on the 20th. But there's also something else which comes out on the 20th, which is going to be not a segue, because it's not the next game on the list, but it's probably going to be a game on the list. Anyway, number 9, the next one on the list is going to be Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 1 is, I feel like, a masterpiece. Yeah, I mean, most people are probably gonna agree with me. The storytelling, the characters, like, I feel like the you know, the Walking Dead, like the zombie apocalypse storytelling and world design, kind of, you know what I'm trying to say. It's so overused at this point. It's you know, I'm really tired of it. Like, people were tired of that type of design back in like 2015, 2016. We're now in 2020. Like, it's still going, but that's what makes, not what it makes, that's not what makes The Last of Us really good. But they managed to, in a really oversaturated market with zombie stories and zombie just media everywhere, they managed to take the same formula and make it extremely good still. Like the zombie apocalypse in The Last of Us, it's not what makes the game really good. It's just when you manage to take the aesthetics of the same formula, but you have just a team of incredibly good writers, and you manage to make a some really, really interesting characters, and just some really, really solid gameplay on top of that, then I feel like no matter the concept, no matter the world you build in, I feel like if you have a team of really, really solid writers who can take anything and turn it into something else, or turn it into something like The Last of Us, I feel like you're gonna come out on top. And that's what I feel, that's what Last of Us is. It's an absolute masterpiece when it comes to storytelling and gameplay vision, I feel like. And I feel like part 2, wow, the stakes are really high for part 2. I hope it is as good as everybody say it's gonna be. Like I am really looking forward to part 2, but damn, they have some. Ooh, they're gonna have to show up with that one, because everybody's talking about the like the first one, how good the first one is. So yikes, there's gonna be some high expectations going to part 2, but hey, I believe Naughty Dog, good developer, really good developer, solid. So I believe, I believe, and I can't wait. Let's continue. Number 8, Final Fantasy VII Remake. The demo is just released a couple days ago. I'm not gonna play it though, because I want to go in as blind as humanly possible. Even though the demo would be good stream content, would probably be good YouTube content. I mean, who am I kidding? I don't have a big, like, I don't have a big audience or anything, but it would still though. The more good content you push, you know, so it would probably be good content. But no, I want to go in blind. Funny story about Final Fantasy VII is that I never played it, and then a couple years ago, I don't remember how many, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I can't exactly remember, but I started playing it because I've only heard good things, and then I played the original. And this was around the time where Final Fantasy VII Remake was actually announced, so I started playing it, not knowing any of this, of that game being announced. So I started playing it, got pretty far, and then mid-playthrough, Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced. So I just, oh shit, okay, well then I'm gonna stop and just play that one. But as I understand it, they're gonna split Final Fantasy VII Remake up into parts. So part 1 is gonna be Midgar, and then stop at Midgar. So I've played through, I got, I think, halfway through the game, so I'm like past the Midgar stage of the game, which I feel like that's almost like the entire Midgar section of Final Fantasy VII is almost like the tutorial. I feel like the game like starts when you're done with that part. So I'm really like curious. Like the game looks amazing. The like they're so faithful to the original. It looks absolutely phenomenal. But I'm also at the same time really worried, because how many parts are there gonna be? How long is part 1? What, you know? Like, how much content can you really, if it, I don't know if that's true or not though, if it's only gonna be in Midgar and the game stops when sort of, you know, you're done with Midgar and like the open world sort of aspects begin. But I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I mean, maybe you guys actually know it, but as I said, I stay away from a lot of these things. But as I understand it, that's how I understand it and interpreted it at this point, though. But it's gonna be interesting to see how that game develops, and yeah. Now we get into the second game that comes out on the 20th, and also my number 7 on the list, which is gonna be Animal Crossing New Horizons. I played my first Animal Crossing game was New Leaf. I didn't know about this franchise before New Leaf, but I picked it up. I got it pretty cheap when it came out, and I picked it up and I played it, and yeah. That's it. Thank you. I couldn't put this game down for so long. Like, one of the hardest things to do is to try to explain what you do in Animal Crossing and how Animal Crossing works as a game and what is really good about the game to a person who don't know what Animal Crossing is. I've been trying to do this on stream so many times, and this is usually my answer. I feel like it's easier trying to explain porn to your mom than, than explaining, not really, explaining what Animal Crossing is to somebody who doesn't know what it already is. But not exactly. But hey, it's a fun thing to say though. But like, I'm really excited, and I'm so sad that both Animal Crossing New Horizons and Doom Eternal comes out on the same day. There's been some funny memes about this though, but like for sure, Animal Crossing New Horizons, I'm gonna stream it on the 20th. It's gonna be, oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna be 100% addicted. I'm actually playing like some Stardew Valley for the first time on stream, in between games and stuff. I made some comparisons to Stardew and Animal Crossing. Like Stardew Valley has some RPG elements. It has some combat, and it has a lot of like the more of the simulation mechanics where you can sort of marry and have more in relationships with the citizens. But Animal Crossing is more like just customizing and building. Like you have your farm in Stardew, but the rest is kind of, you know, already set. You can't really do much about it. But Animal Crossing is much more about like, you don't have combat, you don't have RPG elements, you don't really have, everything is just chill, it's laid back, you earn money, and you customize. You keep customizing and you keep building, and it's so weird to explain, because people who don't play this game is gonna be like, wait, what? That's it? Like you fish and you catch bugs and you earn money and you put plants and benches around your island. That's it. And yeah, that is it. But it's so fun. Like, you have to try it for yourself. Never turn Animal Crossing down if somebody explains this to you. Never do it. You owe it to yourself to try it. All right. It's good. Trust me. And I'm gonna. Oh, I can't wait. Anyway, let's continue to number 6. Which is gonna be, I was really sure about this one. If this one could probably be higher, but let's not get too much into that though. I'm really excited. Just let's keep it at that. Hollow Knight. I already talked about Hollow Knight when I talked about Ori, and Hollow Knight is like I didn't know. There's something I learned recently or last year when I played Hollow Knight for the first time, and I played Hollow Knight because people told me that there was Souls-like elements in that game, and like Soulsborne and you know, FromSoft's games in general are probably one of my favorite games of all time, and sort of the way they make games and the unique parts of those games that they have, sort of like Dark Souls. I feel like is one of the most impactful games of the decade that came out in 2011. It's really unique. And that's why I played Hollow Knight, because people told me specifically that it had Souls-like elements. And I'm so tired of hearing this from people. It's the Dark Souls of the genre and whatever. I'm so tired of hearing this. Like, if a game is hard, it's not Dark Souls. Jesus Christ, come on. You know, but anyway. I was intrigued, and I tried it, and I loved it. And then I learned something really interesting, which is that I actually really, really like Metroidvania games. I didn't like them before. I just tossed them all to the side. Like I just, they didn't interest me. They didn't look interesting. But after playing Hollow Knight and seeing what a Metroidvania can actually do, wow, I'm down. Like Hollow Knight, wow, exploring that game, finding all the secrets, the bosses, the customizations, the NPCs, the quest lines. And that's actually what I think I already talked about this. But you know, like the quests and the NPCs, and sort of when you die, you can get your. I remember I forget the currency, but you sort of get your souls back. I don't remember what they're shells. Is that it? Anyway. The game actually, it has some inspiration from the Souls, but it's not the combat or anything like that. But it's good. It's good, and I absolutely can't wait. It's called Silk Song, and you play Hornet, and it's a new world, and oh my god, it's gonna be good. It comes out June something, June 7th. Is that it? June 14th? I can't remember. It's in June though. So yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Now, going into number 5 here, which is, these two could really, like, they could probably switch places, but I'm going to keep it like this for now. Number 5, Subnautica Below Zero. Here's a weird thing. I'm not into survival games. I don't enjoy them that much. They can be fun, but that's another thing I learned from playing Subnautica. I really like survival games, but at the same time, though, I don't. Which makes Subnautica really impressive, because they managed to do something so unique that I'm gonna say, like, I own the PlayStation VR, and playing games in VR has been some of the most immersive experiences that I've ever experienced. But it's insane how playing Subnautica, like, even without VR, just playing it on my PC, can even rival the experience of playing in VR, just from an immersion standpoint, because that game is so immersive, from just the sound effects to the visual cues to everything. That game is so immersive. It is insane. It's so scary. It's so good. I love the customization of the base building. I really like base building in games. I like being creative and stuff like that, but that's not why I like the game. The game is just extremely fun to explore. It's like the game keeps throwing interesting stuff at you all the time. It is just a blast. If you haven't played Subnautica, play Subnautica. You can probably get it super cheap now. It's like, I don't care if you don't think you like survival games. If you don't like survival games, you can still like Subnautica. It's so unique. It's so good. It's just holy shit. Wow. So yeah, anyway, Subnautica Below Zero looks good. As I said earlier, I'm trying to stay away. I'm not gonna play early access. I don't really like early access, but I see the benefits of early access. I think early access is really good, because just see how Divinity Original Sin 2 turned out. Look how Subnautica turned out in the end, right? But I don't like early access, because the game just keeps taunting me. I can play it, but I don't want to play it. I want to play the full game. I don't want to be spoiled. I don't want to get to a point where, oh shit, now it just stops. And now I have to wait like 1 or 2 years before I can continue. I want to play the entire thing without stops, you know? So I think early access is annoying, but that's just me being impatient. I think the value and the benefit of early access is really good. And not in every case, but in most cases. I feel like the companies who are actually, you know, like Larian, for example, or I forget the dev team behind Subnautica, but when they made it work, and they made it work. Let's continue. This one is really interesting, cause it's number 4. It's Baldur's Gate 3. I never played a single Baldur's Gate game before. And I don't really know much about the Dungeons and Dragons universe. But like, one of my favorite game genres are RPGs. So, and it's so old at this point. I don't know if I could get past like the old mechanics and like how the game looks today, but I really want to get into and try these games like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I have actually played Neverwinter Nights 2 when I was a lot younger, and I remember really liking that game. Also, one of my favorite games of all time, which being Dragon Age Origins, also Divinity Original Sin 2, also being one of my favorite games. Larian, that's why this one is super interesting to me, because I have never played Baldur's Gate 3, and the gameplay reveal of Baldur's Gate 3 recently happened, and from a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people who was really excited about this game, and who also played Baldur's Gate back in the days, right? They're huge on these games. They love the games, and they were kind of disappointed in the sense that the game didn't feel like Baldur's Gate. It felt more like Divinity. And I can see that for sure. The gameplay reveal, like, it just reminded me of more Divinity, a better Divinity, which to me sounds fucking amazing. Like, holy shit, another Divinity. I mean, obviously it's gonna be in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. It's gonna be in the Baldur's Gate universe. It's gonna be probably really deep and it's really gonna be really deep lore. And the mechanics seem really interesting. One thing that I really like, if you play Divinity Original Sin 2, you know that when you first get teleportation, it's really powerful because you can sort of just cheese around the environments, or if you have like jump abilities. But those are specific. So a lot of my playthroughs, I tend to like have one person with jump and then another person with... So one person jumps above gaps, and then the last person just has to teleport everybody over, which takes a while. But what I noticed in the Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay reveal is that you actually have a mechanic to all the characters, which is just called vault or jump. So you can jump down, you can jump over, you can stack objects in the world, you can climb objects. So the interactivity you have in the world is... looks really interesting, and it's one of Larian Games' strong suits. They are really good at creating a really a game world that can just interact with everything, and a game world that is just... it's a playground, and however you want to solve it, you can, and you can be really creative, and that's what I love. And it's more of that. It's gonna be different because it's gonna be Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, it's gonna be Baldur's Gate, not Divinity. But I can't wait. I can't wait. It looks interesting. Oh my god, I love RPGs. I love RPGs that I can just sit and play for hundreds and hundreds of hours and just be immersed in a game world that is, you know, has so much rich content to explore. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm excited. Let's continue before I ramble your brains out. Next one is gonna be, and here's why I call this video Games of 2020 and Beyond, because the next two games are gonna be Beyond, or possibly, but probably not, coming out this year, but probably not. Next one, number 3, is gonna be Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Or Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. We don't have an official name yet, and that's the thing. We don't have we know nothing about this game. And I'm not gonna talk too much about this because I already have a video on Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 where I talk about extensively in a 20 to 25 minute video. So if you wanna hear because I have a lot to say about Breath of the Wild and Breath of the Wild 2, and it's sort of, I talk about a lot of the things that I didn't like in the first one, which I think they can improve in the second one, and in my general just wish list for the next game. So that's all I'm gonna say. If you want to hear my thoughts on that game, go and watch that video. I'll link it in the description. So yeah, but I'm really excited, and that's all you need to know. It's gonna be good. Number 2. Ooh, number 2. And this can easily change. This can easily, number 1 and number 2 can easily switch places at any time. But this is how it's been for a while now, and this is my official list, I guess, of anticipated games. And number 2 is gonna be Elden Ring, and that's another game that is sort of TBA. We don't have an official release date. Could be this year, probably not though. I was really hoping we would get a trailer and a release date announcement on the Game Awards, but we didn't get that, which is what happened last year with Sekiro. Sekiro was like revealed 2 years ago on Game Awards, and then we had a release date in March. That obviously is not going to happen now because we're in March and we know nothing. So that game might happen, like maybe if we see something on E3 and it releases like in December or something. I don't see that happening though. I think this game is going to be next year. And it's really interesting because this game is made by Miyazaki, which is the mind behind Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, you know, Demon Souls. Never played Demon Souls, hoping for a remaster. Hey, FromSoft, get on that, all right? I don't want to buy a PlayStation 3 or emulate the game to play that. So hey, remaster? When? Anyway, and he's gonna make the game with George R.R. Martin, which is the author of the Game of Thrones books. We don't talk about the show. Shut up. Show doesn't exist. The books though are good, so that's gonna be interesting. See how that actually develops, because one of the interesting parts about the Soulsborne or Seki Soulsborne, how do people do this these days? What's the term now? Seki Soulsborne, Souls Sekiborn, Soulsborne, whatever. Those games are so interesting in the way you know how the community, like Vati Video, if you don't know who that is, go follow him on YouTube. He breaks down all the lore in these games, and oh, it's so good. It's so interesting. It's one of the most unique ways of storytelling, and it's so rich. It's so vast. There's just tons of videos. And yeah, that's all I can say. So George R. Martin creating the story here is really interesting, and I can't wait, because this, as I said earlier, that RPGs and JRPGs are probably my number one favorite genre. But Soulsborne, if you can call that a genre, I don't know, the game, the type of game that Dark Souls are, Sekiro and Bloodborne, like these hard and punishing games, but also just super fun to play and super immersive and super, they are so fun to explore. The level design of these types of games that Miyazaki and FromSoft creates are second to none. It's I just wish I can like erase my memory and play like all the games from the beginning, because just exploring these games are such a blast. There's so much interesting stuff to see all the time. There's so much interesting, and the boss fights are really fun to master. So yeah, can't wait for Elden Ring. It's gonna be a blast. Hoping this year, but same thing with Breath of the Wild. I'm guessing it's gonna be next year or even the year after that. Hopefully, I think Elden Ring is gonna be next year, if I'm gonna make a prediction right here and now. And Zelda Breath of the Wild, I really have no clue. It could be next year, it can be year after that. I don't know. But I want it. I really want it. But I think it's a good thing that if we don't get these games this year, it's gonna suck. But at the same time, though, there's so many games coming out this year. There's so many good games. Like, I'm at the end of my list now, so that's a lot of games. Just in March, we have Ori, Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal on the same day. We have Persona 5 The Royal. That's 4 games just in March. I think there's more in March. I'm not sure though. But Resident Evil 3 remake is in like 3rd of April, so it's kind of close to March as well though. And then 10th of April is Final Fantasy 7 remake. It just keeps going and it's non-stop. It's insane. So this year, like, I'm like, both Elden Ring and Zelda Breath of the Wild are games you can get. Like, I have 270 hours or something crazy like that in Breath of the Wild 1. So both of these games are games you can put like tons of hours in. Presumably, if you see how the games usually work though. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Anyway, let's go to my number one most anticipated game of 2020 and beyond at the moment. And if you probably have a good guess of what it is. I've already said that my favorite game genre is RPGs and JRPGs, so obviously it's gonna be Cyberpunk 2077. The Witcher 3 is probably my favorite game of all time. Like, my list keeps changing a bit all the time, but I feel like it's pretty, it's a boring game to, it's sort of the easy pick to put on the top of your like favorite games of all time list. And sometimes Dark Souls is up there as well, and they keep changing a bit, you know, depending on my mood, depending on my preferences at the moment. But most of the time, The Witcher 3 has taken that spot. And I know it's kind of the mainstream pick or whatever, but there's a reason why everybody says it's a good game. It's because it's a good fucking game. Holy shit, that game is amazing. Oh my god. Some people dislike it though for... not dislike it, but some people didn't get too into it because the combat can be a bit simple. The combat is definitely really simple. Not bad, but it can be really simple. But like, I love The Witcher for its RPG elements, how you can play that game over and over again and still like choose different things and get different results. You know, I have over 200 hours in that game, which isn't really that much compared to how some people have thousands and even more. especially if you mod the game. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about The Witcher 3. I'm here to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know much about the Cyberpunk universe. And when it comes to RPGs and games in general, I tend to prefer the medieval fantasy dragon aesthetic settings. I usually love that way more than the futuristic or the cyberpunk, the robots and all that. Which is a weird thing to say, I guess, but I just prefer that. But CDPR, not just as a studio, but as a game developer, as a platform in general, like GOG is my favorite like game platform. That studio, and it like CDPR has won so many like favorite or best consumer friendly developer so many times. They earned so many prizes, and they deserve it. They are fantastic, and they have in a world. Wow, that I started that sentence really weird. Like in this world where we have companies like EA and Activision and etc, where DLC, microtransactions and all of like loot boxes is plagued. It's horrible. We have CDPR to sort of combat that in their own way. They are on the top because they are so consumer friendly, and they wanna, and that is such a good thing, seeing how they made, not only are they like that, but they also made one of the best games ever in a lot of people's minds, which is The Witcher 3. So them going in with this sort of mindset, and at the same time with the same dev team from The Witcher 3 going into Cyberpunk 2077, how could you not be excited, right? Even if you're not like into the like I couldn't be more excited. It looks like I've said several times that I don't watch trailers when it's close to release because I want to go in blind, and I don't want spoilers. But last year or 2 years ago, I can't remember, there was like a 1 hour gameplay reveal or gameplay demo that's up on CDPR's or Cyberpunk's YouTube channel, and it's like 1 hour or longer. I watched the entire thing like 3 times, just because I couldn't stop myself. I'm so excited, and it looks freaking amazing. It's one of the best gameplay like reveal demos I've ever seen in my life, and this is 2 years ago. They recently, like, how insane is this? If well, depending on when you watch this video, but Cyberpunk was supposed to release on the 16th of March. Today's the 7th, so you know that's less than a week. No, it's over a week. Math is hard, right? It's a bit over a week, but that's insane, right? There would be like 1 week and 2 days until the game released, but it got delayed, which is like, that sucks. Sucks when games are delayed, but at the same time though, yes, I'll wait, like, for a better product. Yeah, do it. Yeah, hell yeah. In the words of let me not try to butcher this quote. In the words of Miyamoto, a rushed game is forever bad, but a delayed game is eventually good. And yeah. And I think that's a good quote. I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, stop. Yeah, that's it. That is my list. As I said, I'm not gonna go to like I could sit here and like talk about like Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, and Zelda for hours. Not Zelda, because I already have a video on that. Link in the description again. but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts here, and you're gonna see most of these games on my stream. I have already like at least like Zelda, Elden Ring, and Cyberpunk. Those 3, my top 3 there. Probably even gonna be 24-hour streams on my yeah, gonna be 24-hour streams. Which is going to be exciting. That's how excited I am. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. This year is so amazing. Like there hasn't been a game. I mean, there hasn't been. Words are hard, and I'm a Norwegian. Do you know how hard English is for Norwegians? It's incredible. Anyway, I don't think there has been a year that's been this full of good releases and good games since like 2011. 2011 you had like Skyrim, Skyward Sword, you had Dark Souls. What else did you have? I feel like there was a lot more. I'm blanking. Anyway, like there's been some years that, and like last year was okay. Like Sekiro, which was my favorite game from last year. Last year was good, but at the same time though, if you're not into those games, it was kind of an off year for a lot of people. Not for me though, but this year is. And I know that this is like 15. I managed to scrape together. I put 15 games. That's not what I wanted to say. I put 15 games on this list, but this list could easily, at least if I go like 2020 and beyond, this list could easily be like top 30. There's so many good games, not only this year but on the horizon. It's amazing. I love video games, and I think I'm gonna stop here. Yeah, but. Hey, if you like this is a lot of rambling, I know, but the reason that I don't do jump cuts is because that, well, I don't really have time to edit that much because I stream Monday to Friday, a lot of hours, and then I do like the weekend to sort of video edit and do this kind of thing. I would do like stream highlights, but I don't really have time to go through, and that's just gonna take way too many hours. So Saturdays are just, I have a lot of my mind. And I have a lot of thoughts, and YouTube is the perfect platform to share these thoughts about video games. But hey, if you wanna like this, and the reason also why I keep it like this is because this is sort of what you see in my stream as well. And my YouTube, my Twitter, my Discord is sort of here to promote. Like YouTube is kind of fun because I love doing this, so my YouTube is sort of a side thing as well. But what it's mostly for is to sort of promote my Twitch, which is my main platform, with YouTube also being up there with these types of videos because they are really fun to make. You can probably see that I'm having so much fun talking about video games because I fucking love video games, dude. Video games are great. But yeah, that's it. If you want to catch one of my streams, as I just said, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. CET, you can join my Discord or follow my Twitter for if there's any changes in my schedule. And I also stream like sometimes I stream both Saturday and Sunday. Best way to know when I go live though is to just join my Discord server, which is sort of a cool little community thing that I sort of built with my Twitch. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Completely optional though, obviously, but yeah. And yeah, subscribe to my YouTube for these. Like I also post some stream content that I don't need to edit too much, so I can sort of just push it on there. Edit down some breaks here and there, but that's about it. But I don't have time for much more though. But Ori and like the big games, I'm probably gonna be able to like put into chunks on my YouTube and see how it goes though. I don't have, as I said though, I don't have too much time, so this is sort of what I'm working with at the moment. But it's a lot of fun. If you like video games like me, hey, come and have a chat on my Twitch. It's gonna be a good time. Or not. I just appreciate people watching my content. Or even, hey, I appreciate you for watching. If you're even still watching, hey, if you watched up until this point, leave a comment and tell me what you think, because that's insane. If you've actually managed to keep track of what I've said up until this point, because I ramble. I tend to ramble. That's why I have my chat. Like YouTube it's sort of a new platform and a new area for me. Like when I'm on Twitch and I tend to ramble, I have my chat to stop there and say, hey, shut the fuck up, dude, you're rambling. And I'm, oh shit, sorry, chat, right? That's the kind of relationship we have. When I'm stupid, chat's there to stop me from being stupid. I don't have that on YouTube, so shit. You know, you gotta go in the comments and tell me to shut up, and I'll shut up next video. Next video is just gonna be me just sitting here and being quiet. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm gonna end it here. And yeah, peace out.